Hi everyone, it's me again, Teacher Tina. And in this video, we're going to talk about proofs, specifically deductive and inductive reasoning. Okay, so first, what is reasoning? Reasoning is a logical way of thinking. Sometimes you base your reasoning from different data gathered or from the given arguments. To reason out means to give conclusion or proof to establish a fact or the truth of the statement. So there are two types of reasoning. So first is inductive reasoning. It is the process of arriving at a conclusion based on a set of observations. So ito yung tinatawag natin na specific to general. So dito sa inductive reasoning, napo-form natin ang conclusion gamit ang iba't ibang uri ng observations. Next, deductive reasoning is the process of arriving at a conclusion that uses facts, definitions, and accepted properties in a logical order to write logical arguments. Ito naman yung general to specific. So, dito gumagamit tayo ng mga facts, definitions, para makahanap tayo or makapag-proceed tayo sa conclusions. Okay, next is logical argument. Includes at least one premise and a conclusion. So the premise must be valid to have a valid conclusion. Premise is a statement that an argument claims will induce or justify a conclusion. It is an assumption that something is true. So kapag sinabi nating premise, this is the assumption or i-assume natin that the given statement is true. Conclusion, a judgment or decision reached by reasoning. So kung ang premise ay assumption or hula ng isang statement ay true, dito naman sa conclusion, hindi siya dapat maging hula. So kailangan ito ng proper judgment or statement na makukuha natin based sa ating evidences or premise. Okay, so there are two laws of deductive reasoning. First, we have the law of detachment. So dito, if P implies Q is a true conditional statement, P is true and Q is true. So this is the symbol. So ang basa natin sa arrow is implies. Next, we have the law of syllogism. If P implies Q and Q implies R are true conditional statements, then P implies R is true. So now, let us first talk about law of detachment. So sabi natin kanina, if P implies Q is a true conditional statement, P is true and Q is true. So, dito sa law of detachment, meron tayong given na conditional statement or if-then statement. And then, kailangan kapag dinetach natin sila or pinaghiwalay natin ang statement na P at statement na Q, pareho silang true. So, now let us have the given example. Number 1, if CJ will not study his module in math a day before the test, then he will not get a good score. So this is the given conditional statement or the if-then statement. So kailangan nating i-detach or kailangan natin silang i-detach or paghiwalayin ang P at Q. So P is the premise and Q is the conclusion. So dito sa ating given statement, so the premise is CJ will not study his module in math a day before the test. So ito yung P and he will not get a good score. So this is the conclusion or Q. So now, we're going to have the premise or the assumption using the conditional statement. So the premise is CJ did not study his module in math a day before the test. So, ang premise natin or ini-assume natin na si CJ ay hindi inaral ang module niya sa math isang araw bago mag-exam. So, ito ang ating premise or assumption. Okay, so now, ano naman ang conclusion or judgment? So, kung hindi siya nag-aral, ano yung mangyayari? So, the conclusion, therefore, he will not get a good grade in the test. So, again, ang premise, ini-assume natin na si CJ ay hindi nag-aral ng kanyang module sa math. And then, ang conclusion natin ay hindi siya makakakuha ng magandang score sa test. Okay, so now let us have the second example. If n is an odd number, then the remainder is 1 when divided by 2. So, n is an odd number. This is the p. And the remainder is 1 when divided by 2 is the q or conclusion. So, ngayon, ano ang ating premise? Again, ang premise ay manggagaling dito sa ating p. So, the premise is 17 is an odd number. So, yung n, pinalitan natin siya ng 17 or nilagyan natin siya ng isang odd number para ma-prove natin na pag dinivide natin siya sa 2, magiging remainder niya is 1. Okay, so dito meron tayong assumption na ang odd number is or yung odd number na n is 17. So, sabi dito, 17 is an odd number. So, ano kaya or ano ang kanyang magiging conclusion? So, therefore, the remainder is 1 when 17 is divided by 2. So, again, ang ating assumption or ini-assume natin that the odd number, which is 17, ay may remainder na 1 kapag dinivide natin siya sa 2. And that is true because 17 divided by 2 is equal to 8, remainder 1. Okay, so now, let us have the law of syllogism. So, sabi dito, if P implies Q and Q implies R are true conditional statements, then P implies R is true. Okay, so let us have the first example. If Joy visits Bicol, then she will spend a day in Albay. If she will stay a day in Albay, then she will go to Cagsawa ruins. So, dito meron tayong dalawang conditional statement or dalawang if-then statement. So, ang unang conditional statement, ito yung tinatawag natin na major premise at ang pangalawa namang statement ay ang minor premise. So, kanina sa ating law of detachment, meron lamang tayong isang premise at isang conclusion. So, dito naman sa law of syllogism, meron tayong dalawang premises at isang conclusion. So, those are the letters P and Q and R para sa conclusion. Okay. So, doon muna tayo sa P. So, kapag sinabing P, it is the premise or assumption. So, ang pinatin dito sa ating statement is Joy visited Bicol. So, dito, ini-assume natin na si Joy ay bumisita sa Bicol. And yung second premise natin or Q, she will spend a day in Albay. So now, what is our conclusion? So therefore, she will visit Cagsawa ruins. So, ang ating conclusion ay hindi natin or hindi siya assume or hindi siya isang assumption. So, ang ating conclusion dito ay nakuha natin sa dalawang premise. So, therefore, ang ating given conditional statement is valid. Okay, another example. So, if you eat vegetable, then you become healthy. If you become healthy, then you will not get sick. So, the first conditional statement is the major premise, and the second conditional statement is the minor premise. Again, kailangan natin ng dalawang premises. So, first premise, you eat vegetable or yung ating P, siya ay galing sa ating major premise and Q ay galing sa ating minor premise. So, Q, you become healthy and ang ating conclusion, therefore, you will not get sick. So, dito, ini-assume natin na ikaw ay kumakain ng gulay. So, this is an assumption. And kung ikaw ay kumakain ng gulay, ikaw ay magiging healthy. Another assumption. So, kung ikaw ay kumain ng gulay at ikaw ay healthy, ibig sabihin, hindi ka magkakamero ng sakit. So this given statement is valid. And the third example, so if it is winter, then you will wear a wool sweater. If you wear a wool sweater, then you are a sheep. So again, the first statement is the major premise and the second statement is the minor premise. So ang ating P or yung first assumption, it is winter. So i-assume natin na winter ang season. Then the second premise or assumption or yung ating Q is you will wear a wool sweater. So, dito naman, i-assume natin na magsusuot kayo ng wool sweater or makapal na jacket. And, for our conclusion, you are a sheep. Ibig sabihin, kapag nagsuot ka ng jacket, or kapag winter at nagsuot ka ng wool na sweater, ikaw daw ay sheep. So, the statement is not valid. Hindi naman ibig sabihin or hindi ka i-consider na tupa or sheep kung magsusuot ka ng makapal na jacket or ng sweater. So, kaya yung ating statement is not valid. Kasi sabi dito, ulitin natin yung statement natin. So, kung ngayon ay winter, ikaw ay magsusuot ng wool sweater or makapal na jacket, ibig sabihin ikaw ay sheep. So again, pag nagsuot ka ng makapal na jacket or wool sweater, hindi ka naman magiging or hindi ka naman isang tupa. Okay, so now let us summarize what we have learned in this lesson. So reasoning again is a logical way of thinking, and there are two types of reasoning, the inductive and deductive reasoning. Inductive reasoning is specific to general and deductive reasoning is general to specific. And there are two laws of deductive reasoning. First is law of detachment. So one premise and one conclusion. And law of syllogism, we have two premises and one conclusion. So premise is an assumption that something is true. And conclusion is a judgment or decision reached by reasoning. Okay, so I hope you learned from this lesson. Thank you for watching and please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Good luck, God bless, and happy learning everyone!